If you manage paid search for multiple location brands in 2026 and you're not talking about location decay, you're leaving money and competitive advantage on the table. Most marketers talk about budget allocations, attribution models, and bidding strategies, but the biggest risk is not those things. It's assuming that all of your locations behave the exact same. Imagine this. You're the coach of a national soccer team. Let's call them PPC United. You have players from Miami, Chicago, Seattle, Dallas, maybe Boston. And they're all expected to play the same position with the same strategy in every match. That sounds ridiculous, right? A 90-degree weather difference, different opponents, different crowd climates, different pitch conditions. But that's what multiple location brands do in paid search all the time. They treat every location like it performs the same. And that's the risk most brands aren't really accounting for. So what do we do, and what's their honest truth? Audience behavior is unique in every geography. In 2026, with advanced automations and local demand signals, you must collaborate differently. What works in Austin might flop in Anchorage. What converts great in Miami might just bleed budget in Minneapolis. Yet most brands run one campaign structure, one bidding strategy, one set of KPIs across the whole board. That creates what I would call a location decay, where your national campaign loses efficiency as it spreads across different markets. Budget becomes wasted, algorithm gets confused, and performance degrades. And you hardly even notice it until it's too late. So there are 3 core reasons. Signal just versatility across markets. Different locations have different search volumes, competition intensity, consumer seasonality, and purchase intent. In 2026, platforms like Google and Microsoft are using real-time geo-demand signals in their automations. That's great if you give them clean, segmented inputs. And if you don't, they optimize to the aggregate, and the strong markets overwhelmed the weak. So algorithms prioritize the big players and ignore nuances, little ones. Over aggregation kills precision. When you lump 50 locations into one campaign with one target CPA, smart bidding can't balance one located market behavior. What's a profitable CPA in Phoenix might not be realistic in Pittsburgh, yet most teams treat them like they are the same. That's why some locations overspend while others underdeliver. You need location-level targets, or at least cluster, not one national KPI. Local competitors are eating your lunch. National brands assume local competitors can't steal their customers. But here's the reality. Local businesses understand their markets better. They did aggressively on hyper-local terms. They leverage Google business profile signals better. They win proximity intent because they're there. In 2026, local intent is even stronger thanks to real-time demand signals, voice search growth, hyper-specific keyword intent. So if your strategy isn't localized, your customers go local. The fix? 3 steps to combat location decay. Let's make this actionable. Firstly, segment by market persona, not by geography. You have more than zip codes. You have demographics. You have behavioral signals, historical performance differences, local competition intensity. Start segmenting campaigns by performance archetypes. High competition, high intent. Medium competition, standard intent. Low competition, volume markets. Stop lumping them all together. 2, adjust bidding targets by local benchmarks. Instead of one national CPA or localized targets, set localized targets. Why? Because search costs vary by market, conversions vary, competitive pressure varies. Let the algorithm optimize within context, not against an impossible national standard. 3, leverage local automation signals. In 2026, paid search platforms can optimize by demand forecast signals, geo supply constraints, local search behaviors, consumer micro intent, but only if you segment the structure first. Automation doesn't fix missegment campaigns. People would think it does and throw money at absolute chaos. So here's a real example. I work with a national brand that has several stores. Their paid search looked efficient on paper, but once we drilled into location level data, we saw a pattern. So some marketers were 2 times more profitable and some were absolutely flat. Some were bleeding budget because they had one campaign, one target CPA, and one set of audiences. Once we segmented marketers by local profiles, assigned realistic local targets, cleaned up local intent signals, let automation run within these segments, profitability improved everywhere, and waste spend dropped dramatically. When the foundation was fixed, automation didn't fail. It just had the wrong playbook. So, the bottom line, the biggest risk multi-location brands aren't accounting for in paid search today isn't bidding strategy nor new fancy automation features. It's assuming just holistically that your landscape is very different. Your markets behave different. Your consumers behave differently. Your competitors behave different. If you treat them all the same, you decay efficiency. You wasted budget. You lose performance. This isn't 2018 PPC anymore. This is 2026 paid search, where local signals are the king and one size fits all is a strategy that just needs to go away. So the key takeaway, stop treating multi-location performances like one national metric. Start treating it like the collection of unique markets that it is. Segment, localize, optimize within context, and finally, let automation scale what already works locally. And that, my friends, that is how you win in 2026.